Really quick, everybody, this entire video will be timestamped, so if you don't want to watch holding and just get straight into a different topic, please check the pinned comment or the chapter bar down below you. In this entire video, like I said, will be timestamped. I'd appreciate you guys watching. Whatever part that you like, you for sticking around, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to everything that you missed in MMA this week. This is where we cover all of the news, stuff that's, of course, still worthy to talk about. We're going to be talking about drama, announcements, and at the end, we're going to have every single fight announcement. Again, guys, timestamps are there if you'd like to use them. Let's get into the first piece of news today. And for the first thing, I'm not going to really spend too much time on it because all this drama with the UFC and the African fighters, Dricus du Plessis, because Cameron Simon's fighting soon, the whole conversation's still being brought up where it's like, who's really from Africa? But of course, I can't touch on that. Like I said, I'm staying far away from that drama, but it's still been taking place. I feel like we've been talking about it for a few weeks now. I just don't get it, man. Like, what's the point? Next up, another piece of news that's very quick. Stevie Ray announces retirement. It's very nice to see. I hope Stevie Ray has an amazing journey on whatever he decides to do next, but that's a piece of news. He retired. He's done now. Next up, a potential fight announcement could be on the way, guys, because Branden and Roman Dolize, apparently, according to Elon, the UFC offered this fight, so the UFC is certainly looking into this fight, and I feel like this is a fight that both of them would take. Two really hype-up contenders right now. Elon has been looking like an absolute animal, and Dolize has definitely proved himself to belong into the top of the division, so I really like this fight. I hope that it actually gets done. Next up, very sad news. Henry Cejudo has pulled out of his fight with Marlon Vera. We just got the announcement with Henry Cejudo. He's taking on Marlon Vera, and now Henry Cejudo has a shoulder injury that is going to require therapy, and he's not going to be ready anytime near August. If this isn't another hint that Henry Cejudo should stay retired and not fight anymore, that he might not even come back the same. I like this, but I don't. I'm a big fan of Henry Cejudo. I would like to see him fight, but at the end of the day, I don't think he should be fighting right now. Next up, moving forward with the Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg potential matchup in the UFC. So George St. Pierre has offered to train Elon Musk, and Musk accepted the offer. It looks like these two are actually going to train together for a fight. A lot of people are talking about having it at UFC 300 now. I still don't know how I feel about it. I don't necessarily love the idea of this coming into the UFC, but I get the appeal. I would probably do it too if I was Dana White, you know what I mean? More sad news, guys. Sean Brady has unfortunately pulled out of his fight next weekend at UFC 290. He was taking on Jack Della Maddalena, and I was very hyped up for that matchup. I was actually going to make some money on Jack Della Maddalena because Sean, that was a bad matchup for him. But in news that could come about, so Kevin Holland wants to step in, but Kevin Holland is fighting a few weeks later. He's fighting Michael Chiesa. Holland said he will take on Jack Della Maddalena, and then no matter what happens, still fight Michael Chiesa. That's probably not something that he can control because who knows how much damage he'll take, but knowing Kevin Holland, he can make this happen. This is why I love Kevin Holland as a fighter, man. I hope actually that the UFC puts this together. Della Maddalena versus Kevin Holland would be absolutely fantastic. It would be fire. Next up, very interesting news that's been making the rounds. Sora Rakhmonova is, I might have pronounced that wrong, is Shavkat Rakhmonov's sister, which I don't understand why they don't have the same last name. Maybe it was just a typo where I'm getting this news from. I don't know, but anyway, Shavkat Rakhmonov's sister is going to sign to the Contender Series and going to have a fight on the Contender Series. If she's anything like her brother, she's going to steamroll the Contender Series. I can't wait to see it. I heard about this a little while ago from Artem MMA. Shout out to our Artem MMA. Fantastic channel, guys. Go take a look at that. And I was like, I didn't know about that. That's wild. But now it's been making the rounds in the MMA news, which is very interesting. I don't know how you figured that out so soon, but but hey, you know what? I'm excited to see it either way. Next up, something's going on with Jorge Masvidal. All he tweeted was contract signed. What could it be for? I don't know. I doubt Jorge Masvidal is going to fight. I don't know. Like, maybe he could. Maybe he could box or something. I have no clue. What do you guys think it could be? Jorge Masvidal, something he is coming up with him. He just signed a contract. Maybe it's a fight that he's putting on. Who knows? Now, guys, it was a little bit of a slow week for MMA. However, we have all the fight announcements from this week. I'm going to read them off to you really quick. If I have something else to say, I'm going to stop and talk about it for a second. We have Jafal Fihallo versus Daniel Perez on July 22nd. We have Edgar Sheraz versus Tatsuro Taira on July 8th. That's going to be very nice to see. We have Cub Swanson versus Hakeem Dawodu on August 12th. I really like that fight. Cub Swanson's one of my favorite fighters. I'm going to be really excited to see. But speaking of my favorite fighters, we have two of them coming in here. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Kelvin Gastelum, September 16th. Gastelum moving down to the 170-pound division. Again, I'm very excited to see this. Gastelum, if he has a diet and sticks to it, he is going to rule that division. I'm actually picking him to beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. It's going to be very unpopular, though. Anyways, Tracy Cortez versus Jasmine Jasudavicius on September 16th. Apologies, I always mispronounce her name. And we finally have Jake Matthews versus Miguel Beza on July 29th. These are all fantastic fights. This week, there's a little bit lacking in the fight announcements, but still, these fight announcements are absolutely fantastic. Great to see Cub Swanson back. Love watching Shavkat, Kelvin Gastelum. Jake Matthews too, and who doesn't like watching Tracy Cortez, you know what I mean? So those are really nice fights to see. It's going to be absolute bangers, but a lot of them we have to wait for until September. So guys, the only fights that I'm going to be watching this weekend is actually the UFC card. It's a very, very nice card for a UFC fight night. So guys, go check it out. Yeah, of course, if you're watching this channel, what am I even talking about? You're definitely going to be watching this card. I'm excited for it. UFC 290 follows it. It's going to be a great next week for MMA and a great weekend of fights, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the like button. It would help out the channel a ton, and subscribe if you would like to stay up to date on all things MMA. We do this video every single Friday, guys. On the screen right now for now, though, if you want to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there will be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. Check them out, guys. I think they are pretty great. I will see you there or in the next video, guys. Maybe next Friday. Take care.